The Dallas game last. Hey
Yeah.
everybody, welcome to the TD Report. I'm David Combs, your host. Here with my co-host Tony Kennedy. We're not going to talk about the Dallas debacle right now. How you feeling though before we get started? You all right? We good?
You got jokes.
It's a heartbreak Monday. That's what this is. Tony, this whole thing about the playoffs, we've been doing this a few years now. It doesn't matter who you are a fan of. It's always a heartbreak Monday, and you just all of these emotions that you have as fans, it's even bigger for the guys in the locker room that play between the lines.
All right. Hey man, it's hard for them, man. I mean, these guys are just
Shane Hillard got jokes. So Shane, he already clowning us. So listen, let's talk about what happened over the weekend. Game that I was interested in. Let's talk about Jacksonville against Kansas City. This game to me boiled down to a tale of two quarterbacks. You've got Pat Mahomes here on the top, and there's no other way to put it. This is Pat Mahomes' show. This is Pat Mahomes' league. Okay, he's been a starting quarterback now 5 times. For 5 seasons. This will be his 5th appearance in an AFC Championship game. Absolutely incredible. Tony, can you put that in historical perspective for us?
in 103 years in the NFL's never been done.
Never been done. Not Terry Bradshaw.
Not Bradshaw, not
Not
Staubach,
Troy
not
Aikman. Not
Montana,
Steve Young. Not
not Steve
Montana.
Young, not Tom Brady.
Not even
No
Tom Brady.
one. It's never been done.
Never been done.
So we can talk about all this stuff. He's not my favorite quarterback. He's good, but it's. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. If people say the quarterback position ain't important,
oh, it's important.
Ask
Oh,
the
it's
people
important.
in Kansas City how
Hey,
important
Jody.
it is. Oh, you got
Jody's
Jody
on
on
mute.
here. Look at
Hey,
him.
Jody.
He's smiling. Man, don't be coming on here smiling already, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
See,
I got these folks on.
it's a heartbreak Monday. It's a heartbreak Monday on the TD Report. Hey, Jody, we're talking about the AFC first because we want to make sure that we keep. I mean, listen, we're trying to make our money out here like all the other podcasters.
Right.
I'm putting Pat Mahomes in my A block. Let's talk about this guy. 5 years as a starter, 6 years in the league. He sat his rookie year behind Alex Smith. They move Alex Smith out east to the Washington Commanders. Unfortunately for Alex, his career was ended by injury. Pat Mahomes moves on. He's been in the AFC Championship 4 straight years, and then this year made it the 5th. 5 straight. Tony says in the 103 years of the league, that's never been done.
That's true.
So I said tale of two quarterbacks as well. We had the resurgent Trevor Lawrence make it to this round in the playoffs. You know, a great feat for a young quarterback. As far as I'm concerned, I know he's a second-year quarterback. This is his rookie year. As far as I'm concerned. That mess with Urban Meyer, that ain't football, right? Tony and I, since we have known each other, we've talked about stuff that we've seen on television with football, and we'll say that ain't football. What he did, what's done to him as far as coaching, and Doug Peterson and his staff coming in literally on short notice have such great admiration from me for what they've done for Trevor Lawrence in his career. Trevor Lawrence's team goes down 27-20. There's a few, I don't know, I'll call them anxious moments for Kansas City fans. Pat Mahomes goes out with an ankle. Chad Henne, of all people, comes in, does admirably well in relief. Mahomes returns to the game. I know the score was 27-20, but Kansas City was up 2 scores late. That last touchdown was kind of cosmetic. They would have had to put up 3 touchdowns in like 2 minutes to even really have a chance to win that game. And that wasn't going to happen. Andy Reid advances to his 11th conference championship game. 11. That's incredible. So what we're looking at is the way I would say it, and I'm sorry to take all y'all's thunder on this, but this is passionate to me. Trevor Lawrence lost on Saturday, but he doesn't have to like it. That kid's going to be back. He'll be back.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be back. But I want to talk a little about Andy Reid going to 11 championship games. Now, the good thing is he went to 11 championship games. The bad thing is he only got 1 Super Bowl out of it.
Okay.
That's pretty. When you go what Jody just said, I mean, that put it in perspective. You go all that time, and you only got one title, dog. I mean, come on now. When you want to talk about he don't win it this year with the teams that are left. He blew out San Francisco. That's not a good matchup. I think Philly will probably be a better matchup if we want to see a better game, because really, technically, San Francisco really can't score to keep up with them. Philly can.
Right.
So if you're looking at Andy Reid and looking at now the NFL storyline, they want Andy Reid versus Philly, because that storyline is, I mean, that's about as we haven't had a storyline that big since the Harbaugh brothers played.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Good call, Tony.
when you're looking at different things, I'm looking at different angles. Guys, can y'all understand this? You understand history. There are some things that stick out. Every time Cincinnati has made it to the Super Bowl or make it this far, San Francisco is always in the other side championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the odds of that happening in 1981? It happened in 1989 when they played each other again. Then it happened last year, and it happened this year. 4 times. And 2 times, San Francisco took them out. And the other time, they lost to what? The Los Angeles team. So there's not a California team in it. Well, there is. I mean, if they meet them in the championship, I got to pick San Francisco because that's what history says, right? But I will tell you right here, you know who my favorite quarterback is. It's not on the guy that play on this team. My favorite quarterback is Joe B. And Joe B, I'm going to tell you, I am so sorry, Joe B. I didn't believe in you when you had your 3 offensive linemen out.
Tony.
I didn't believe in you when your running backs and everybody was hurt and all this stuff was going on. I didn't believe in you, Joe B, because I was believing in the hype for these other people.
Tony.
But I will say it right now.
Tony.
Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL,
What?
bar none.
Stop.
Well,
Stop. I can't, Dave. I can't let him. Listen,
go for it.
Reporting, and you're gonna talk in nonsense. Joe Burrow is absolutely a wonderful quarterback. He's the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL. But it's a guy that playing in Kansas City that has a resume as good as some of these Hall of Famers already. He potentially about to have his 2nd MVP, which is more than Drew Brees, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. So he's going to be on that. He's going to be on the same wavelength as these other guys. He got more MVPs than Ben Roethlisberger because I don't think he won any. So
I think he won 1.
Ben Roethlisberger won.
No.
He didn't win 1? I thought he won 1.
No.
No.
So basically what I'm saying is Mahomes, it's almost at a point where if Mahomes retired right now, we got to consider him almost as he won't get, but he almost got to consider him as a Hall of Famer already with what he's accomplished. This guy has about to be in 5 AFC championships. He already won 1 Super Bowl, and he's going to have 2 MVPs.
Mm-hmm. Pat Mahomes could walk away from football 5 years from now, and he's got a Hall of Fame resume.
Now, what I will credit on Joe B is, guess what? Joe B, 3 full seasons, he's already in 2 AFC championship games. In
2 full seasons.
2 full seasons.
2. He got hurt in the 7th game.
The 3rd season, he got his knee blown out.
But he
the
still
1st season, he got his knee blown out. He only played 7 games.
Wasn't making the playoffs that year. Come on now. Even if he would have played.
Okay.
The 2 seasons he played, he is in the AFC championship.
Right, he was. But guess what? I had a conversation there about the Mahomes and Joe Burrow situation, and somebody wanted me to go on record and say, if Joe Burrow somehow beats Mahomes for the 4th time, and he goes to the Super Bowl and he wins it, is he on the same, or is he the best? Would he be the best quarterback in the league? And I have to say no. I could say he will be equal to Mahomes, but I couldn't give him the best quarterback in the league, even if he won it this year.
Okay, I'll say this to you, Jody. If Joe Burrow eliminates Patrick Mahomes from the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, goes to the Super Bowl, avenges his Super Bowl loss from last year. As far as I'm concerned, we got us a rivalry going because right now, he has Pat Mahomes' number. And here's why Joe B has Pat Mahomes' number. He doesn't care. That's the thing. He has no conscience. He just goes out there and plays football. Okay. I don't know any other way to explain it, but there's just something about the way that Joe Burrow matches up with the Kansas City defense. He gives them problems. So we can look at what happened yesterday. We can look at what happened yesterday with the Bills. The Bills were playing at home, a slow track, snow on the ground, slippery, and first drive of the game, Joe Burrow just takes them right down the field and scores, goes to Jamar Chase at will, and basically lets Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator of the Bills, know you in for a long day, partner, okay? Because we're going to come right at you.
Dave and Tony, do you mind if I address the elephant in the room for a moment?
What is that?
Josh Allen scored 10 points at home in a playoff game, and we're not talking about him? We're not talking about the great Josh Allen? The guy that's 4-4 in the playoffs? The guy who are we blaming in Buffalo right now? Somebody needs to start answering some questions about Josh Allen. He can't win the big games. We need to start talking about Josh Allen. Didn't he get blown out in the
Well, they didn't get blown out. They didn't get blown out by the Chiefs. They got outplayed, and they were not beating the Chiefs, but they got outplayed. They didn't get blown out.
Go to TD Report Live.
I'm talking about 2 years ago. Remember 2 years ago when
okay, yeah. I'm only going on recent history, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
So my kids back and lost a close game, and I never
filming my podcast now.
So much praise in a loss.
Come to TD Report, hit some questions.
Allen at home only scoring 10 points, Dave.
Well, I definitely am not praising Josh Allen right now. And hey, for the record, everyone that's watching the TD Report, I had the Bills going to the Super Bowl this year. Listen, Josh Allen played a more than subpar game.
His name is Jesse Allen now.
Jesse Allen.
Jesse Allen.
He played a subpar game.
Until he can get a bowl, his name is Jesse Allen. And
so let's address the other elephant in the room. Let's address the other elephant in the room. Let's address the other elephant. And thank you, Jody, for bringing that one up. Stephon Diggs was not happy after this game.
Not happy at all.
I don't have the numbers up as far as the targets or whatever, but I was listening to the game. I was listening to the game on the radio driving in. Okay. Had to take my son to batting practice, was driving in, and that was the early game. So I was only able to listen to it, couldn't watch it. Sound like we had a couple of bad overthrows. I think there was at least one bad overthrow where he had Diggs with a step, would have been a touchdown, and didn't hit it. You can't make it out to be that one throw or a couple of missed throws, whatever. To it. But Diggs wasn't happy. Diggs is a pro. Okay, knows what he's doing. Something's not right in that locker room, and we could talk about some of the emotion that they might have felt, with the on-field injury, all of that, and just all the outpouring of emotion. Football is an emotional game, but you have to control it, right? Within the lines, between the whistle. I don't know what happens from here. Is this a rift between Diggs and Allen that could be talked about or talked over behind closed doors and squashed and left behind? Sean McDermott has to figure this part out, guys.
See, we don't play revisionist history. We all don't agree on things, but we like to go back. Someone on this show said after the Miami game in Buffalo that he's handling the ball too much, that he's getting too many hits, that if they keep going this way, if you keep going this way, you're going to be home in the playoffs. Someone said that, and I recall looking at that person and saying, whoa, what do you mean he had the ball and threw it 60 times and this and that? They're looking good because he's an MVP top candidate after they destroyed the Rams. Everybody was feeling good, and they didn't want to hear that person say, you don't have a running game. You can't let him handle the ball that much. And this will eventually come back to bite you. And now we are here. We are here where everybody's shocked and just like, oh, Jesus, what's going on? And Diggs is here. And blah, blah, blah. No, folks, that's why you need to tune in to us. We may not just agree with each other. We go back and forth. But I tell you what, we know what the F we talking about. We know what we talking about.
Get in there, Jody.
Tell him, Jody.
I think Buffalo's window has closed.
Oh.
I think, listen, this was their one shot. The way that Joe Burrows is playing football and the way that Patrick Mahomes is playing football, the way that they keep up season after season, I don't believe I think this is the best Buffalo can do. Look how bad it was when they depended on a guy that was 32 years old to rush the passer. They saved the day. If ever out, they have not been able to get after the passer. And if you're depending on the 32-year-old pass rusher that has been injured a couple seasons, you're in trouble. You got all this talent. Hey, Trey White is no longer an elite cornerback. He's no longer an elite corner. He can't cover.
Jesse.
He can't cover anybody. So
thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you. I hate to say it. Buffalo's window has closed. Josh Allen got questions to answer. Sean McDermott need questions to answer. And why are we not talking about Ken Dorsey and him being fired? They fired Brian Leftwich, but Ken Dorsey called bad games all year after 4. Look at what the games. Look at the games he called after week 4. When he
they were too dependent, and we've talked about it on the show. And listen, other analysts have talked about it as well, but we've highlighted it on the show for a long time that they depend on Josh Allen to provide the running game way too much. Josh Allen needs to be able to hand that ball off and pound that rock. They've got to be able to do that to keep these teams honest. And they just didn't do it. They didn't commit. Here's the thing, guys. They didn't commit to it, right? And that helps your defensive coordinator. That's who it helps. That's really who it helps. If the team behind me, if my defense is looking at a team that runs the football, and that's who I have to defend points from, that helps my defense because it runs clock. It runs clock, lets my defense rest.
And you know what's crazy about it? It's not that they can't run the football, it's that they won't run the football.
A commitment, right.
We don't know how good Singletary can be. We don't know how good Cook can be because you only give them the ball 3 to 4 times. Tony, you play highest level at the running back, but you don't get lathered up until after 10 carries.
Mm-hmm. Well, the term that I like to use is you don't miss your water until the well runs dry. Okay.
You got that right.
And listen,
you got that right.
I'm gonna go out of order here because I just used that term. You don't miss your water till the well runs dry. Okay. For the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Pollard gets a very bad injury, and they can't run the football anymore the way that they would like to. They have Zeke Elliott there. They were running the two-headed monster. Zeke couldn't come up big. And listen, Dak Prescott followed up a great playoff game with a subpar playoff game. Dallas's defense did everything it could, held the 49ers to 19 points. But when you give a team as good as a defensive team as good as the 49ers, if you give them 6 points off turnovers and miss a PAT, that's 7 points, and that's your margin of defeat. Let's talk about Dallas.
Can I sum this up for you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it to you from a fan perspective, and then I'm going to give it to you from an analyst perspective. Okay. Fan side is we want to throw every damn thing out. Let's just throw everything out because we should be in the Super Bowl. Okay. We should have been there. We should have won the game by 30 points. I don't know what you're talking about. We can go to Philly and beat them by 20 points. Folks, fans, let me talk to you. Here is the issue. A good friend of mine told me when Dak went down, and it was 4 weeks, you guys need to do exactly what you're doing with Cooper Rush. When Dak comes back, you need to do the same thing, just a little bit more of a with Dak. But no, y'all trying to get this dude a job. Y'all trying to make Dak the hero because he says the right things and this and that. I've been the biggest Dak apologist. Dak ain't shit. And the offensive coordinator ain't shit either. They got to go. When your defense holds this team to 70-something yards rushing and all those weapons around, I heard about Debo and McCaffrey, blah, blah, blah. They was killing San Francisco. And you dudes on offense are absolutely terrible. That is the worst performance I've ever seen in my damn life. And you to get a paycheck when all these people here gotta get up in the morning and go to work, but you fools got millions. How the hell does that happen? There ain't no way possible.
Jody, you're enjoying this way too much.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Not gonna be the angle y'all think I'm gonna come from. The person that takes the most responsibility for this loss is Jerry Jones. Let me tell you why Jerry Jones should take responsibility, and I've yet to ever see Jerry Jones say that he was wrong about anything. You know why he was wrong about anything? The first thing is when you saw the week prior, your field goal kicker missed 4 PATs. He missed 4 extra points. Why did you not go get somebody else? You can pick up a free agent. Anybody would have been better than him. Then he comes fifth one. He makes so many personnel changes, but he doesn't address that one that he could have addressed it. You want to get your nose and stuff, get your nose in that, but he didn't. Second, just like Tony alluded to, he should have ran the same exact offense that he had with Cooper Rush. We know that Dak can make throws that Cooper Rush couldn't make. How many times in that game did you run any type of play action RPOs in that game? If you look
at Dak can't run.
That's the whole point. Jerry Jones signed the quarterback that became a statue. That's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, seeing that Ezekiel Elliott lost a step a year or two ago, he didn't address that because Jerry Jones does not want to be wrong about decisions that he makes. You let Amari Cooper go for a 6th-round pick. I guarantee you, if Amari Cooper was on Dallas right now, Dallas would have handled 49ers without a problem.
Possibly.
These are decisions that Jerry Jones made. Guess what? Jerry Jones is not going to take the blame. He's going to put the blame on Dak Prescott, which a lot of blame needs to go. He's going to put a lot of blame on Kellen Moore, and I believe at some point Mike McCarthy is going to lose his job. And that's how I feel about that.
Could be. So, Tony, as Jody steps away for 1 second, I agree with a lot of what he said, but I will disagree on this. Jerry did, as far as doing the GM piece, drafting Tony Pollard was the right move, okay, behind Zeke. That was the right move. And honestly, it saved their season. Tony Pollard saved Dallas' season this year. They don't win 12 games and a playoff game without Tony Pollard. They just won't.
Correct.
So what the Dallas Cowboys have to look at is that was a fairly nasty injury that Tony Pollard got. Very bad injury. It's a 3-month rehab on that, and he's set to become a restricted free agent, which means they're going to have to be matching some deals around March. The good news is he's injured, so his offers are not going to be top of the market. The bad news is it's a bad injury. If Dallas could end up overpaying no matter what happens, Tony, Dallas is going to end up having to overpay slightly and risk Tony Pollard coming back and not being the guy he was. But the real question is, have we seen the last of Zeke Elliott in Dallas?
I think unless he take a pay cut, listen, if Zeke Elliott was a horse, they would have taken him out back and shot him already.
Oh my God.
What I saw last night, what I saw yesterday from Zeke Elliott, and I love Zeke. See, y'all have to understand, I love these cats. I love all these dudes. But yesterday was the one that put me over because we were actually playing against a team, the only team in the NFL that I felt was better than Dallas this year was San Francisco. Okay? I felt that.
Or Kansas City.
After seeing them play San Francisco, I knew that we should be there. We should be in the bowl because Dallas's only problem over the last 4 or 5 years has been stopping the run. If they can stop San Francisco, there's 2 teams or 3 teams. If you can stop their run, Baltimore, Cleveland, San Francisco. If you can stop those teams' run and make them one-dimensional, then you can stop any team's run. The one thing that Dallas had on their favor this year was that everybody that was left really weren't really a run team. They love to throw the ball, i.e. that's why we have a 500 record against the teams that are left. We lost to Philly by 8 points. We lost San Francisco. Y'all saw by 7, but we beat Cincinnati. We beat Philly. So those are the teams that are left. I mean, think about
Beat Cincinnati, as I recall, beat Cincinnati with Cooper Rush.
with Cooper Rush. So my thing is that if we'd have got blown out yesterday, then it could have been justified. Dallas was not as good as San Francisco. But what I saw yesterday, that comes down to quarterback play. When all things are equal, it comes down to quarterback play. Dak Prescott yesterday showed me with that offensive coordinator, either they not in tune or he's not checking him on the mistakes that he's making. And offensive coordinator just not calling plays. It's actually teaching. It's actually teaching the position and teaching situations and putting them in right situations and knowing what is right situation, what's wrong. That obviously is not going, because what you saw yesterday with 12 should have been 13 points. That should not be. And what I saw yesterday, I made a whole bunch for Dak, but what I saw yesterday is time, dog. It's time to trade him or get rid of, do something.
Let's talk about this. Where does Dallas go from here? I think they have to shake up that offensive staff. I think you've got to move Kellen Moore out of there, whether he gets a head coaching job somewhere or whether you fire him. Something has to happen here, whether Mike McCarthy makes the call or whether Jerry goes in and says, listen, Mike, you either have to get rid of Kellen Moore or you're fired. Whatever has to happen.
Wait, Dave, let me answer something I'm on live here. So for you guys to understand, because I said what I said, those aren't excuses. Right. People claim they know football, but your hatred is making you always excuses. No, this is football. If you honestly looking at this team, if you didn't think from where they played against the 49ers yesterday and how they were, Dallas is not a physical team. They were physical yesterday and they were knocking people around. They actually, for the first time in 10 years, I saw them play playoff football. They haven't played playoff football all these times. Yesterday, that was a dogfight. And they the first time they button up against someone. Win or lose, they play physical football. But the coaching side of that is the problem with them. That is the problem. And for the Skin fans who are talking, why are you talking? You need to worry about the for sale sign that's outside of damn FedEx. They talking about trying to sell the Washington Post to buy your team and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Worry about you.
Hold on.
You got a for sale sign, and you're worried about us.
I got to jump here for a moment, because when we talking about the Cowboys and all their ailments and all their blame, we got to understand that Dak Prescott had, out of 14 games he played this year, he had double-digit turnovers in 6 of them. That's not
more than one. Yeah, more than one turnover in 6 games. That's right.
That's not a formula for success. Now, like I said, it's going to be a trickle-down effect. What I've always seen about Dallas, they don't play complementary football. And you look at the teams that's remaining, they play complementary football. Either the defense playing well, the offense, and the special teams. When that a complete game out of the Cowboys, honestly, where the special teams play well. Even if you take the Tampa Bay game, the special teams didn't play well. But the defense played outstanding. They never played complementary football. I seen Philadelphia play complementary football. I seen Kansas City play complementary football. I seen the Bengals play complementary football. And I seen the 49ers play complementary football. What I have never seen the Cowboys this season really have a game where you looked at that game like, you know what? Everybody played great at every phase of the game. And when you have that inconsistency, you are right. It does go back to coaching. It goes back to coaching. If you wanted the highest penalized teams.
One game, Jody. And ironically, they beat the team who I think is the best team. The only time they played complementary football was against Cincinnati. That game. One game out of 17.
Offensively, I think their defense played outstanding. I think offensively they played serviceable, but you didn't see an offensive explosion like they did against Tampa Bay against the Bengals. That's what I'm saying.
Because Tampa Bay was falling apart. Tampa Bay was falling apart at the seams. Yeah. They all year. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Falling apart at the seams where they just weren't an offensive threat.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was a statue back there. And I'm not going revisionist history. I'm not going to say, that Tom Brady was great all year and he's the GOAT. And then when he plays Dallas, he's a bum. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is I'm agreeing with you, Jody, to a large degree. I think what we saw with Dallas this year was a defense that played top 10 caliber defense pretty much all year. Had some uneven performances, some performances where they gave up a lot of points. But to be honest, a lot of the points that Dallas's defense gave up was predicated on a lot of turnovers from the offense. The offense, like you said, complementary football, didn't put them in good positions with bad turnovers and bad spots. So let's go back one quick point, and we'll finish up with the Cowboys on this and move on to Philadelphia and New York, which I shouldn't even do. Sorry, Melvin Bossman Robinson. Shouldn't even talk about it, but I'm contractually obligated to talk about the other game that happened when Philly put their foot up New York's butt. But we'll talk about that in a second. So listen, Dallas has a 2nd and 2. They're deep in San Francisco territory. Now, this is after, Dak has turned the football over in his own end. We'll talk about that one first. The turnover in his own end, in the shadow of the goalpost that where he got rid of the ball in a bad spot. The Dallas defense did a great job to only allow 3 points. They should have given up 7. So we get to the second one. Dallas is nearing the end of the half. It's a minute. I think it was like a minute left in the half. You've got 2nd and 2, okay? And you need to get 2 yards, and you have 3 downs to get it. To get 2 stinking yards. Why is the football going up into the air with a quarterback that's throwing the interceptions the way that it is, the way he has been? That was a bad mistake, not just by Dak. That was the wrong play call. That was the wrong play call by Kellen Moore there. It just was.
But Dave, to be fair, it was the wrong call. But that started before the game started. If you're going to go in the game with the kicker, then believe in the kicker, or don't put him on the roster and put the other guy there. Okay? So if he's there, Roy, this is football. In football, if the guy is on your roster, then that means you believe in him. You only get 45 spots on game day. If you're going to go, then play the game as I trust my kicker and run the football. That's football talk, Roy. For these people like, oh, well, you ain't talking football. I'm sorry, dog. Redskin fans they don't know football. They only know let's hate Dallas. Because when you talk reason to Redskin fans, they're not here. They actually stupid when it comes to football. They only know the hate for Dallas. Understand, Jerry Jones is the problem. Cut the guy, get a kicker, and let's move forward. Don't put your people in bad spots because you're reaching. They are the number 1 defense for a reason. They want you to reach. And what they wanted you to do, you went and did and gave them the game. Because when they got the ball, you threw the interception, they come down, they kick a field goal. That was a momentum change. That was a huge momentum change.
Well, let's talk about the best pass in the game. That was an incompletion by the rookie Brock Purdy. It was about 4 seconds left on the clock, and they were in field goal range, and he was able to get the ball out of bounds with 1 second to get that field goal out. Let's talk about a play that completion that might have been his best pass of the season, because like Tony alluded to, that field goal put them up, and that was a 6-point swing. That went from potentially Dallas going in a half 9-6, which points were going to be at a premium. So if you knew that, you needed every potential point you could get. So you didn't take that field goal, and then the 49ers get that field goal. At that point in time, I really felt like the Cowboys had no chance in that game after they got that field goal. And I know that sounds bad, but both teams had problems moving the ball. Let's make no mistake.
Probably 2 of the best defenses left in the playoffs. Those 2 teams,
and
2 of the best.
And that rookie had enough knowledge to get that ball out of bounds with 1 second left to get the field goal unit on. And I don't think we talk about that enough. We don't talk about, since he's been a starter, he's 7-0. We hasn't talked about, not only has he been 7-0, he has 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I said it, I'm going to say it on the TV report. He is the new birth of Tom Brady. Why? And Tony going to say it. Tony told me, he said if he played for the Bears, we wouldn't be talking about. But guess what? He don't play for the Bears. He don't. He got put in a perfect position, just like Tom Brady got put in a perfect position. He doesn't have to do much. All he has to do is not lose the game.
Correct.
He's not
Correct.
losing.
Hey, shout out to Robbie Gould, another former Bear, left for dead, and ends up here in San Francisco. Kicks a 50-yard field goal in a game, like you said, where points were at a premium to complete that 6-point swing.
He won the game for them.
He really did. Robbie Gould
kicker won the game for them.
Robbie Gould is great. Robbie Gould is great.
All kinds of field goal.
Yeah, he's great.
And what we saw, and I don't think people appreciate it, because the Monday after Dallas lose on the Sunday is National Haters Day in January. That's what
needs to be a holiday.
Because it needs to be a holiday, because I have never seen this much hate for one team. You got people all the way in another division in Northwestern. Oh, I'm glad Dallas lost. It's like they made their damn day. But then you're going to say, who is America's team? America's team will always be this team here. Win, lose, or draw. We are America's team. It doesn't matter.
Y'all fans are obnoxious. They're unrealistic, and that's why we hate y'all. Y'all say y'all gonna come. Y'all ain't won since I went to senior prom.
But guess what?
But you remember your senior prom, though, don't you?
We own it.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
And guess what, Jody? We own it and we take it.
Oh, y'all
guess
don't.
What? You know what? You ever seen a movie? It was called The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where she was like, look at those people out there. And she had that little smug look on her face. She said, because they want to beat us. Damn, it hit them. She said they want to beat us.
You can get anything on this show. We have a Devil Wears Prada poll on the TD report. Okay. Don't even respond, Jody. Don't even respond to that. Don't even respond. Let's go to the New York Football Giants. Let's go, because this is, hey, by the way, Melvin Bossman Robinson, if you're watching out there, this is for you. Y'all got served. Y'all got served. Philadelphia Eagles take 2 weeks off and come out and open up a can of whoop-ass.
Philadelphia Eagles open up a can of whoop-ass.
I got two concerns in that game. I got two.
Okay.
One being positive, one being negative. The positive for Philly, they ran the ball like nobody's business. And when you can run the ball like that in the playoffs, you're gonna take it a long way. But Tommy
likes it.
But I got a problem with y'all, Philly. Listen up, Philly fans. When you got Brown on the bench pouting and y'all up 31-7, I got a problem with that. AJ Brown was pouting on the bench because he's not getting targeted, even though they dominated on the ground. You do not need a distraction at this point of the season. AJ Brown, you make $25 million a year. Y'all winning football games. Don't be the TO.
Have a Coke and a smile, man. Listen, Jody, look where he came from. Did he think they weren't going to give the ball they weren't going to give the ball to Henry when he was in Tennessee? Come on now. Hey. AJ Brown is being petulant about this because, listen, they will need him. They will need him to make some plays against the 49ers. And if he doesn't, if they target him, if they dial him up and they target him in that game and he doesn't play up to par, he's going to have to answer some questions. Okay. You wanted to come to Philly. That's what he wanted. He's on a what? What is Philly's record? What are they?
14-3.
Boy, you better sit down.
15-3 now.
Well, yeah.
I think they have no problem. They're going to have no problem with the 49ers. They'll handle them. But the defense, they'll handle them. Because, by the way, we about to go to our picks. Guys. And by the way, Melvin Bossman Robinson, we're gonna send your New York Giants a participation trophy. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
No. But we got to do something here now. It's not all.
I'm giving out participation trophies.
I'm gonna take him from Danny Dimes to his new name is Danny Dollars because he about to get paid from the New York Giants.
He put up a stinker of a game. What does he think he is, Dak Prescott? That was terrible.
Hey,
he gonna get $40 million for that?
Hold on.
I'm gonna sound like my man. I'm gonna sound like Steve. I'm gonna sound like Steven and Django. What you gonna do? You gonna put him in the room? What you gonna do? You gonna burn the bed? Gonna burn the sheets? Gonna burn the whole room? What you talking about? What are we talking about here? Do not give Danny Dimes all that money. Come on, man.
Scored again on. I think they just scored again on New York. I think they just scored. Hold on.
That was
y'all better leave them Giants alone, man.
Honestly. Hey, and by the way, Boss Man is a friend of ours. We love you, Boss Man. We just yanking your chain, buddy. But I got to tell you, on the real tip, Brian Daboll and his staff for the New York Giants did great this year. Young football team, and they're gonna get a little younger. They're gonna draft well. If they keep doing like they did, they had a great draft. Okay, in the NFC East, they had a great draft, and the Philadelphia Eagles had a great draft. Those two last season had the two best drafts in the NFC East, and Dallas didn't exactly draft poorly either. You see what I'm saying?
Dallas did well with
Dallas did well. Washington.
We wouldn't have won the games without our left tackle.
The NFC East, as a whole, drafted well, but when you look at what's happened over in the AFC at quarterback and how well a lot of teams in that league have drafted, they all have their quarterback, or they should have their quarterback for the next 5 to 7 years, if not longer. Joe Burrow is going to get his money. You're going to have to give Joe Burrow $45 million, maybe 50. You might have to give him the whole state of Ohio.
55 to 60 million. I'm going with 55. I'm going with 55.
I'm going with Joe Burrow right now. If Deshaun Watson, or that's his name, he got 250. Joe Burrow guaranteed money is 350 to 400 million.
I believe that.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I can see him getting 300 million guaranteed. Maybe not 300 million probably guaranteed.
So let's go to these picks, guys. So far on the scoreboard, Jody and myself lead the way at 45 points. Great picks.
No, how we do.
Cody is at 40, and our resident football expert, Tony Kennedy, is at 30. Tony.
Because I took all the upsets. I'm sorry that the Giants couldn't beat Philadelphia.
See, Tony, Tony, this is why you are not a football coach. You can't get broke taking a profit. You got to play the percentages. Come on, TK.
Hey, Tony.
I took what I thought was going to win. You still holding me for that damn Chargers bullshit. That was terrible.
How it feel down there, Tony?
Yo, was in there last week when I was on top. Okay, so let's go this week. Let's go this week. Y'all start first.
You the Washington Commanders of the show. You at the bottom. All right, here we go. So Cody, Cody's running. Hey, by the way, Cody was off air with us today. He's got a thing he's working on. Appreciate Cody for running the show and doing a great job. So yes, Cody picked the 49ers in the NFC to advance to the Super Bowl. He also picked Kansas City. So he put in his picks. So I'm going to announce those for him. Hopefully I read the sheet right. I took Philly and I took Buffalo to make it to the Super Bowl. So my Super Bowl champ or my Super Bowl team is out. So I had already taken Philly. I'm riding it till the wheels fall off. I will take KC. Okay.
Hey, Jody.
All right. What you got, TK?
No, Jody.
I got San Francisco. Jody? I got San Francisco and Kansas City.
Okay. So you're going for the old school Super Bowl. You're going for an old school Joe Montana, Ken Anderson Super Bowl.
I like
Anthony Munoz.
I was at the Super Bowl last year, and I got to see my favorite. I got to see my favorite quarterback almost win. So I am going to go right now with my old boy Joe Burrow, to pull the upset once again.
Wow!
And if it was a way I couldn't pick this game, I wouldn't pick either side. I hate both teams. I hate both cities. I don't care.
Who you got, Tony?
I'll
go on to take Philly.
I gotta take Philly.
City of brotherly shove. I love it.
I can't believe I gotta pick them, but I gotta pick them because I want them to lose to Joe Burrow. I want them to feel that pain to get there and lose it, so we can. I don't care.
I'll say this: if Joe Burrow pulls this off and runs the table and hoists the Lombardi Trophy, Tony, you've got to get a picture with Joe Burrow, because you got a picture of him with the Heisman. You have a picture with the Heisman. You got to get a picture with him with the Lombardi, if you can do it. Go ahead, Joe. What you got? Parting shot.
If you look at everything, if you look at all the quarterbacks, every quarterback has a fabulous story if they can pull it out. If if Jalen Hurts can win the Super Bowl, that'll be only the fourth African American quarterback to do so.
Good for him. I love it.
He'll be a guy that nobody believed in, and he will win the Super Bowl. That'd be a great story. If Brock Purdy wins it, he'd be the first rookie to ever win a Super Bowl in his first inaugural season starting.
In the league.
He'll have a perfect record. That means he'll be 4-0 in the playoffs, 5-0 in the regular season. That'll be a great story. The last pick of the draft, winning the Super Bowl. That'll be
Mr.
amazing.
Irrelevant.
If we go to Joe Burrow, that means Joe Burrow, if he wins 2 more games, he'll be 7-1 in the playoffs, a Super Bowl ring. Only loss he had was in the Super Bowl last year, and it's only his 3rd year in a city that has never won a Super Bowl, the Cincinnati Bengals. That'll be king. I would hate it because I hate them, but that'll be a beautiful story. And then we got Mahomes. If Mahomes wins it, he wins 2 more games. That means he'll be 11-3 in the playoffs. He had never played on the road in the playoffs. That will give him 2 Super Bowl victories, 5 AFC championships, and 2 MVPs. That's an amazing story within itself. So those 4 quarterbacks, every story, if anyone wins, have an amazing story.
You have to add on to it that there's not many people who win the Heisman and win the Super Bowl. It's
Correct.
Not that many. And actually, one of the first to ever do it is actually from Cincinnati. So you can kind of bring it back to that. Roger Staubach is from Cincinnati, Ohio.
It's pretty good. That's some good trivia here on the TD Report. So I thought we had a pretty good Heartbreak Monday. One of the best days we've ever had in viewership on the TD Report. So we would like to thank everybody that was in the comment section. Appreciate all of y'all.
No. Y'all only here. And y'all only here to see us go down. But I tell you what we starting right now is for $6.99. We got our On to Vegas tour for the Cowboys. We're going to be in Vegas next year at the Super Bowl. And I don't care how it's going to happen. It's going to work.
So
you know why? Because you got to have
y'all going to need a ticket, Tony. Y'all going to need a ticket to get there, right?
No, we ain't going to need no ticket. Listen, you got to have faith in them boys. Hey, I'm still them boys. But right now, we got to reevaluate them boys and to see who going to lead these boys.
Hey, Tony.
If I had to do it, I would trade for Lamar Jackson, get me another quarterback, get me a new OC, keep my defensive guy and Dan Quinn, and go from there, man. But
hey, Tony, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna take Soul Plane, or y'all gonna take a Greyhound bus across country to Vegas?
Wait. I got people coming on here who are Green Bay Packer fans. This one Green Bay Packer fan I haven't seen. I had to put him on the side of a milk carton. I had to go to Giant and buy the milk carton, and I saw on the side of the milk carton. I was like, "Oh God!"
Hey, Tony. Hey, put Mrs. Adderley on. Put Mrs. Adderley on them Packers fans and tell them to sit down.
I didn't know some of these people still had their Facebook accounts.
Listen,
all of a sudden, I got stuff popping up. I was like, "Wow!"
I got 2 things before I go, and this is what could happen for Dallas. A, they can make it swap with Vegas for Derek Carr, for Dak Prescott. They both make about $40 million. The Vegas Raiders need to make a decision on Carr. I think a change of scenery for both of those guys will be beautiful. That will work. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna hang up after this. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes to Dallas where he's undefeated, where he can't be beat, and maybe he can win out.
We might get Aaron Rodgers. Ooh.
No, y'all ain't getting Aaron Rodgers.
See, Jody.
No, that was good for Jody to get off on that. That was
you
smart.
need to worry about Jody and them Cleveland Browns. And you better keep Deshaun out the damn massage parlor. Don't be worried about our quarterback.
That's true. So once again, we are back.
About us.
It's Just Me and Tony, the original show. Hey, Tony, thanks for everything. Hey, look, we're gonna be keeping up with you. We're gonna keep you in our prayers, brother. We're gonna pray for you, for the Cowboys.
Hey, man, you know what, Dave? What's so messed up, Dave, about all this?
Talk to me. Tell them why you mad, Tony.
I'm mad because these people, you don't hear from them all year.
Nope.
Dallas lose. I got a million meme. Oh my goodness. They need to call this Meme Monday.
Absolutely.
Because
Whenever
when the
Dallas
Cowboys lose,
whenever Dallas lose,
oh Jesus Christ, it's all these men. Oh, I mean, the Samuel Jackson meme peeping around the corner and all the stuff about Jerry Jones. I mean, guys, this is bad. Y'all need to stop this. Y'all need to stop all this because this is not right. Dallas Cowboy fans have feelings too.
that's
And
true.
you
TK,
guys
you're right. You're
You
100%
guys are
right.
messing with their mental stuff.
I feel
These
you.
folks
I
can't
feel you.
handle that. You know,
So
won't you be easy on the Cowboy fans? They're not obnoxious like you say they are. They only like that when we win and we think we're going Super Bowl. So give them a break.
everyone, let's be nice to our Cowboy fan friends, you know, as they go through this very, very difficult time. Us on the TD Report, we have empathy and we got love for all of y'all Cowboys fans throughout the world. And also Giants fans. Hey, y'all. Y'all got served in the playoffs, man. So y'all come on and get on the couch with the Cowboys fans. Washington fans have the couch stuck to the bottom of their butt because they ain't been off the couch basically, you know, for weeks.
Hey,
so
Redskin
y'all
fans
can sit
can't
down
ever
too. So we will be
Washington
back
fans
on
can't ever
Thursday.
talk.
We're gonna be back on Thursday on the TD Report. We got stuff to talk about. We're gonna be talking about some Shannon Sharpe. Had a little dust up at the Lakers game a couple of days ago.
Wait a minute, Dave. You call that a dust up?
A brouhaha.
He said, you want some of me? Your boy said, no.
No.
Come on. That ain't no dust up, dog. They was about to
I ain't gonna fool. Listen.
He about to
I ain't gonna fool
pause
with Shannon Sharpe. I ain't gonna fool with Shannon Sharpe. But then Steven Adams came over there. That Joker is bigger than Aquaman. I ain't fooling with that Joker either. But I will say this, everybody. We thank you, all of our new fans. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thursdays are going to be wild because it's going to be a Thursday before the conference championships. We're going to have the full panel on here. We'll have Devin POV Mason on. We're going to try to get Bill West from Ravens Roost so he can talk about his Ravens because we do need to talk about that Lamar Jackson contract. So I want to get an expert on here. So Bill West from Ravens Roost, holler at us. We will be back next week. See you Thursday.